Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today we are talking about my spring witchy routine. I've seen a lot of people do these over the years, and honestly a lot of the stuff they do takes way more time than I have. So this is my spring witchy routine, as I am a full-time worker currently and also doing my own side stuff, which takes up a lot of time. So trying to do a 2 to 3 hour long process in the morning and or at night, it's just not feasible. So hopefully this will give you some ideas so that if you also don't have a lot of time, whether it's because of work, school, parenting, whatever, like hopefully this will give you some ideas. So the first thing I do is the second I wake up in the morning, I do gratitude. So this can last for like 30 seconds to a minute, or even a couple minutes depending on the day, but I just list off at least probably 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for before I get out of bed. That's really easy to do. It just starts to become a habit. It's hard when you first begin, but your alarm goes off, turn off the alarm. Before you get out of that bed, you say a few things of gratitude. They could be simple. I'm grateful I got to sleep tonight. I'm grateful I woke up this morning. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my lover. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for my pets. I'm grateful for having a house and a roof over my head. I'm grateful for transportation. Whatever. Just a little bit of gratitude in the morning. Bouncing off of that one, before I get out of bed, I will usually do a few affirmations. I don't do a whole lot. I do have a consistent about 3 to 5 that I do every single day, and then other ones I'll just throw in for that specific day and how I'm feeling. These could be as simple as emotions that you want to feel. So I am happy, I am safe, I am excited, whatever. I am professional, whatever you need for your day. It could also be affirmations towards what you're working towards. So, like I am an author, I am an artist, I am a lawyer, whatever you want to end up becoming. Start putting it in your head that you actually are this thing. And again, this doesn't take long. This takes like maybe 30 seconds. But by this point, you've done a couple things that most people will tell you to do in the craft every day before you've even gotten out of bed. You can have longer affirmations if you want, but I find the I am one-word statements work best for me. And I might do other affirmations like when I do my meditations, but this is for very easy to do first thing in the morning. I don't have a lot of brain power, I haven't had any caffeine, I haven't even gotten out of bed yet. But you start your day off, you got a few things done. So after this, I'll start to get ready for the day. Usually I'll get the man to work, and then I'll come home and either I will go back to bed because the solar flares that we've been having and eclipses and all of this crap, I am exhausted. I am so tired. I just want as much sleep as possible. So I will go back to bed for a little bit. That's what I've been doing for a while, but inevitably, once I'm ready to get up and face the world, some days I don't need to, but a lot of days I do because I'm just incredibly exhausted all the time. Once I actually get up again, I won't do the affirmations and gratitude at that point, but if I wanted to, if I didn't do it before, I would. The next step is to have some altar time. Now, this can take as long as you need or as short as you need. For myself, this is the biggest time-consuming part, especially in my morning routine, but I've found that I need to have these few steps. So typically this part will take me about 15 minutes to 30 minutes. So you could do this when you're sipping on your coffee, or if you want to just kind of push that into your schedule. Again, it can be pretty time consuming for some people. 30 minutes is quite a bit when you're rushing in the morning, but I found that 15 to 30 minutes, if I don't do this, my day goes poorly. If I do it, I tend to feel better. Especially as you do it often, it just kind of gets the snowball effect and it really makes a difference. Altar time looks different for everybody, so this is just what I do. I like to do daily devotions and daily communication with the gods. Some people find that the way I do it is probably like super disrespectful. I don't think so. For me, it's just as simple as if you were sending a text to your friend or your parent or a loved one, or you're making a phone call to them every day. And it's not formal, it's just casual. So I will call upon my deities and be like, hey, it's the morning routine, talk about whatever I'm feeling that day. If I'm anxious about work, which is often, or if I am trying to formulate what my goals are and how I'm going to achieve them and the projects I'm working on, I'll talk about that for about 5 minutes. Depending. Some days you need to vent for a while, and I don't think the gods are necessarily opposed to that. I found that's my best way to maintain a communication with them. It's just daily divine dialogue. Just sit and chit chat with them for a while. So I'll do that after I've invoked them, just talk about whatever for a few minutes. And if I haven't already done so, at that point I'll do gratitude and affirmations. Most mornings I do it before I get out of bed, but crap happens. So sometimes it's when I get to the altar. I will then do a daily card pull. I found this to be super helpful for me, and so I've been using the same deck. It's my favorite one. It's the Halloween Oracle, and I will shuffle. Sometimes I have a specific thing in mind. You know, if there's something that I'm just like mulling over in my head, I will pull a card for that, or it'll just be like something to kind of keep in mind throughout the day. And this just kind of helps with like a mindfulness shift of like, okay, today I'm focusing on this specifically while I'm doing the same exact freaking tasks that you do every day. Because some people tend to be like in the bandwagon of like, you shouldn't pull a card every day because that's asking too much. I do this as more of like a way, especially with oracle cards, that it's just something to focus and shift your mindset just a little bit throughout the day. So like I've had some where like I'll pull like the ancestors card. So it's like, okay, so as I'm going through my workday, it's like, what ways am I connecting with those who've come before me? And you know, it could be the fact that like I'm a woman and I have a job. Like that used to not be a thing. And like how much work went into doing that, and now I'm sitting here able to do that kind of a job. Or the fact that like I'm kind of carrying on a family legacy a little bit of like I'm working in medical, and like my loved one who passed away a couple years ago now, which is still weird to think 2020 was a couple years ago, like a year and a half-ish. It was the end of 2020. But that person had worked in healthcare and was like, that was their thing. They had a huge career in their lives, but they really loved doing like EMS, paramedics, firefighting, all that good jazz. And so it's like working in medical, obviously not in that field, but still it's like kind of this thing of like, oh, like I would have loved to tell this loved one about it. So in a way, like it's kind of a way of connecting with that person, because I used to call them and talk to them weekly about what happened at work. And so like just kind of keeping that in mind. Obviously different cards have different meanings. Like there was another one that was like the spider, and it was all about finding balance in your life, and it was like, huh. So I spent that day really evaluating like, how much of my life is out of balance, and where am I creating the web of my life? And so like each day I just pull a card, and it's just a really easy way to set some mindfulness, to set some intentions of what you're gonna do, because honestly, the majority of us, when you have a full-time job, it's gonna kind of be the same every single freaking day. It gets old, it gets monotonous. Like of course there'll be little different things that pop up every day, but like the majority, it's the same. So this is a nice way to just kind of spice it up a little bit. I've really been enjoying it. I also will journal about a page about that card each day. So I'll pull the card, pull out what information I'm feeling that morning or that night or whatever I end up doing it. Usually it's morning. And then I will write about what's going on or what I think about for that card. And then from there, I will usually light some incense as an offering. I love incense as an offering. And then I currently have been doing a little bit of candle magic every morning, working towards a specific goal. But you don't necessarily have to do that. That's just something, it doesn't take me too long to do, and it's very important for me to be doing it. So I make the time for that, but you don't necessarily have to. From there, close up shop, and then I have at least got some altar time done in the day. So then I'll go to work, do whatever, you know. It doesn't necessarily have to be like all magic all the time. Like my job is incredibly stressful, so I don't have a lot of witchy things that I'll be doing throughout the day, because I'm mostly just trying not to have a panic attack, because my job all day, 8 hours, whatever, it depends on the day. Our office has weird hours, but every day at work, I'm just struggling with anxiety. So I just do what I need to get by. Once I get home, I usually take that time to spend with my family and my pet. So when it finally comes time to the me time at the end of the day, that is when, if I still have any energy left, I will go and I will journal and just talk about my day. This is really helpful, especially if I've had a very stressful day and a lot of things happened and I'm just feeling like utter crap. That's a really good way to just release those emotions and just write it out. Just write as many pages as I need. And if I have even more time or even more energy, I will do the Inner Temple of Witchcraft meditations that I'm supposed to be doing. I found that it's really hard to fit those in during the work days. My days off, I have a lot more time. I'll spend way more time at the altar. I'll do any spellcrafts. If there was a moon that week, that's when I'll usually celebrate it. I don't do it day of. I don't have that time or energy to do it, so it falls on my days off. So that is also when I'll mostly do the meditations or exercises. And some people might have that as a luxury of time, other people don't, especially like parents. You don't get a day off. But for those of us working, we usually have a weekend and you have a little bit more free time, and that's when I'll push in the extra stuff that I want to do, such as reading the witchy books I do every week. I will usually do those like Saturday and Sunday mornings so that I can take a few hours and just read the book. And then I will, you know, record when I can throughout the week and edit and all of that jazz. And then also exercises, celebrating the Sabbath, stuff like that. That falls on the weekends. So that is my current spring witchy routine. It doesn't necessarily have to be spring themed. This is just what I am currently doing in the spring of 2022. I thought this would be really helpful for those of you who don't have a lot of time and you can't do a ritual bath every day and spend 1 to 2 hours at your altar. Like overall, this probably takes about an hour a day-ish if you do everything. And even then it's subject to change depending on like how long do your affirmations take, how long does your altar time take, how long do you journal at night. Like it's very subjective day to day. But that is just what I do. I would love to hear from you what your witchy routine is, especially if you work. Like if you have a full-time job or you have other things that like really consume your time for the majority of your waking hours, I would love to hear what your routines are. I think it's super important just to share that so other people don't have that like rose-colored lens of like, oh, if only I had time to do these very elaborate, very fancy, very beautiful, Instagram-worthy stuff every day. Because again, the majority of this, it isn't. It's just sitting at my altar. That's like the huge chunk of time. And that even, you know, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day, that's not too much. So anyways, I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below or as a video response. And until tomorrow, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support me, my Patreon is now pretty much up to date. The next major update will be coming this autumn. It's pretty set in stone of what I'm going to be doing weekly. So if you want to check that out, the tiers have adjusted just a little bit. So be sure to check that out. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. If you would like, maybe leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good jazz, and I will see you all tomorrow.